The Giannis trade rumors. Giannis is going to be on the move. The NBA draft is tomorrow, which, by the way, big event plan here at Woodward Sports for that, so you're going to want to tune in for that. It's going to be awesome. Pistons are going to be picking in the first round, so you're going to want to tune in. But Giannis is going to be on the move before that. The Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics are the two teams. Now, they're two different scenarios. You have the Miami Heat, which if Giannis were to be traded to the Miami Heat, there would be maybe a third team involved, like the Detroit Pistons, where you could potentially get a Tyler Herro, which has been reported over the weekend. I think Koo was talking about it, Koo Cahill, a lot of national, Mark Stein, all these national reporters and local reporters, shout out Koo, were talking about the possibility of Tyler Herro coming to Detroit. And those things are starting to heat up a little bit. Then you have the Boston Celtics as of today that say, oh yeah, we'll put on the trade block Jaylen Brown, which kind of just shuts everything else down, because if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, you get a superstar in Jaylen Brown in exchange. At least there's you feel like you get something back. You lose Giannis, which Giannis, when healthy, is, you can argue, one of, if not the best player on planet Earth. Not anymore, really, with Victor, but one of the guys.
To clarify, the Heat deal would be more like pick-driven,
younger assets.
Yeah, and like the Celtics deal is more superstar-driven with
Jaylen Brown. And if you're involved in that Tyler Herro deal, I think they reported the stuff that the Pistons have to give up would be Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, first-round pick, I think was the initial trade report. So and there was even people, by the way, we could talk about this scenario too. There was even people that saw that trade report and were like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to give up Ron Holland.
See, this is the issue. It's, if you're the Detroit Pistons, I was thinking about this earlier today. It's a failure if you don't go out and get one of these in this offseason, like a Tyler Herro. I know the Austin Reeves, the Kyrie. And for people who think like, hey, I don't want to give up Ron Holland or Isaiah Stewart, you should want to. Like, you should want to upgrade this roster to try and win a championship. Like, there should be no one that's like, I'm all right. No, like, you should want, like, I would package multiple of those players in a first to go get someone that you can pair with Cade Cunningham to try and win a championship next year. You're at that point. There's no more, in my opinion, like, oh, Ron Holland's 20. No, you could get a player that's drastically better than Ron Holland and a Tyler Herro that could score 20-plus points a game and can kind of do other things for your team. Then just keep Ron Holland and be like, I'll just keep building internally. Like, when I hear Trayshawn say, let's build internally, I only think with, like, Jalen, Asar, and Cade. That's it. There should be no other question about the other guys. Like, those other guys are all on the table. I wrote down this morning the whole list of, like, this is who I would put on the table. Karis LeVert, Duncan Robinson, Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart, like, every first-round pick for the next however long you can go out for. Like, that's all should be on the table in the next 24 hours for the Detroit Pistons. And there should be no question about it. And if you're a fan that's, like, questioning, oh, I don't want Tyler Herro, I want to keep Ron Holland, then you're just an idiot. Because that upgrades your roster. That puts you in a better position to go win a championship next year. Yeah. I'm sorry. I love Ron Holland. As a person, it's awesome. We drafted him 5th overall. We've built him up here. Tyler Herro's better. Yeah. Kyrie Irving's better. And same with Isaiah Stewart. I love Isaiah Stewart. I love the whole mentality, the Detroit mentality, all of that with Beef Stew. There's better players out there. You can upgrade your roster. And it was very well known in this postseason that you need to do it. So it would be idiotic and it would be a failure if you leave the next 48 hours post-draft and you did not upgrade your roster and you actually picked at pick, what was it, 21, and you didn't trade Ron or Isaiah Stewart. That would be a failure in my opinion, because you did not get better. And that's a fact to me. Like, I don't think that's a crazy statement to make. I think it's, if you're serious about winning a championship now because you're in that era, you need to make moves to do it.
So let me set the table, and I want everyone's thoughts on this, chat included. Okay, let me set the table, because before I get to the Tyler Herro stuff, I do want to say it's most likely that, in my opinion, Giannis is going to Boston. I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's most likely going to happen, and then you're going to have to probably work out an individual deal for Tyler Herro. But I don't know if this 3-team trade is going to happen. Because Giannis, if you're going to trade Giannis, and I think it was reported also that the Bucks owner, he's probably looking at this thing like, hey, all he knows is we're getting Jaylen Brown back. Probably more intriguing from his standpoint, unless they want to go younger. True. Yeah. But let's set the table with this Tyler Herro stuff. So Tyler Herro is on an expiring contract. He's making $30 million. He is eligible for a 4-year, $206.9 million deal this next offseason, okay? And that could be eligible for a 5-year supermax worth up to $380, obviously, if he's named to an All-NBA team. But if he leaves and gets traded to the Pistons, he's going to be, like Neil said, I think Neil said on the show too, it's probably going to have a 4 before the number. You're probably looking to pay a guy like that a lot of money. Are we comfortable with that? Because you're going to have to extend him. He's only got a year left. Are you comfortable giving him $40-something million a year at the minimum? If you do trade Ron and you do trade Isaiah Stewart, because people probably are looking at this thing like, I would like to trade Ron, I would like to trade Isaiah, I would like to trade a first-round pick, but we have basically a one-year rental that I think Tyler Herro would buy in. I think if he got here, he'd want to stay. But would you be willing to give him the money? That's what it comes down to.
I'm willing to give him the money because, look at it from the trade. Like Booner, you were talking about it. Like people don't want to trade Ron. Getting a playmaker and a scorer isn't free. Like those are sought after in this league. That's what the NBA is nowadays. You're not getting these guys for free. So yeah, you're gonna have to give up Ron. You're gonna have to give up Stu. You're gonna have to give up a first round pick for a guy like Tyler Herro. And yeah, I would pay him if it's 4 for 206, like you said, Jeff, I would pay him the $50 million. I would, because I think he's a perfect pairing next to Cade. Obviously, there's some question marks on defense, but this is exactly what we've been asking for. A guy that could take the load off Cade. He could score. He could play make. Yeah, I would 100% give that money to Tyler Herro. And I think if we bring him in, if hopefully in a 3-team deal, I think he'd be bought in, and I think he'd be willing to sign an extension.
Yeah, if they trade for him, I think he's still eligible for that Supermax if he makes an All-NBA team.
But if he's not a part of the 3-team deal, we're not getting Tyler Herro because the Heat want to win. Like they're not just going to trade Tyler Herro if it doesn't have anything to do with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
I'm in on Tyler Herro. I said this last week, and I still stand by this. I don't think this Pistons team is as far off as maybe people think. I know we talk about big moves, but I think even a Tyler Herro could do wonders for this team currently. You get a 20-point scorer who can handle the ball. I mean, he's putting up double doubles in a season. I mean, he's averaging 5 rebounds, 5+ assists. He can get you. I mean, he can not only score, and he's a high 40% field goal percentage guy, almost 40% from three guy. High 80s free throw line. He's efficient. Maybe he's not the best defender. But again, you got capable defenders on this team. And if you get to keep Lassar and you have Tyler Herro and Cade, those two in the playoffs, you can hide them.
Especially with a J.B. Bickerstaff-led offense and defense, they're going to still play defense. Even with Duncan Robinson coming over here, what was the talk? Oh, he's trash defensively. Duncan was kind of all right on defense with the Pistons. Yeah. Not saying he was a shutdown or anything like that, but he played better defense, especially in the playoffs. He played better defense than what we had seen up until that point. So I personally think Tyler Herro fits like a glove. I understand that the money for a player of his caliber is just a tad steep, but you are getting a star back in return, and I believe he is a star in this league. When you have your last 6 of your 7 seasons with 20 points a game, I would think that makes you a star.
With those numbers, too.
And he's done it on the biggest stages. He's done it in the playoffs. DNC ENT, shout out to you in the chat on the morning show. He said that he was the second best player on a finals team, and he was. I think that, adding a player like him, imagine if you had him during this playoff run. You probably beat the Cavs, and maybe you're having a conversation as to whether you're beating the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, man. So I think that it's a really, really good move. I do understand the money will deter some people, but that's just life in the NBA. You got to take a swing somewhere. This wouldn't be a bad way to start. Plus, you could go make another move to kind of solidify that wing spot.
Yeah, I mean, he's averaged 20 points per game in 6 straight years in the NBA. That's scoring. And I don't think people are like, well, he can't defend. Please tell me, and this is the world you start getting into, if you're trying to find the number one goal, in my opinion, this offseason, it's not getting defense on this team. You have really good defenders. Asar can defend, Cade can defend, and you have Jalen Duren who can defend, right? Mm-hmm. You need to get scorers.
And a ball handler.
And a ball handler.
And he does both.
And you can't have it all. It's hard in this league to find a number 2 option with Cade Cunningham and also be like, hey, can you also defend as one of the best in the NBA?
Yeah.
You're not going to get that. You're not. Kyrie's not one of the greatest defenders right now at his age in the NBA. Can he defend? Yeah, but he's a little older. But what do you need him to do if you get him? Score the ball, dish the ball handle, all of that. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a scorer. You're not you could say that with most scorers right now in the NBA. Not all of them can defend at a high level. Not all of them can, but you need to find a guy who can come in here and help Cade Cunningham and get 20+ points per game. So everything's not on Cade offensively, and you're adding another piece to him. That's what Tyler Herro is for you. I mean, the guy is a rookie in an NBA Finals run as a rookie, averaged 16 points per game as a rookie. Mm-hmm. I believe that was his rookie year, right? Or am I crazy at looking at this? Was that his rookie year?
I thought it was either his rookie year or second
year. It was his second year.
19. Right? No, I think that was his rookie year.
Or was his first year making the playoffs?
In 2019,
No,
his first year was 1920.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they went to the finals
Yeah,
in the
there you go.
1920 year. I think that might have been the bubble year.
Yeah.
And he averaged 16 a game on that run. And then the next finals run, I don't actually think he played in that playoffs. I think he played.
He
It looks
was
like
injured,
I think he played in one game that whole playoff run. But that season, he was their third leading scorer, and he averaged 20 plus a game for the Miami Heat in a year that they went to the playoffs. And they lost in the finals. And I bet if they have Tyler Herro, guess what? It would have given them a better chance. So you're talking about a guy that got paired with Jimmy Butler, and I could say this pretty confidently: Cade Cunningham's better than Jimmy Butler. And you're pairing him with a better player than he was in Miami, and they were great in Miami. Like, come on, man, it's an upgrade. And I think it's look at what Ron Holland, he lost minutes in the playoffs. Isaiah Stewart lost minutes in the playoffs. You're trading two guys that barely played for you in the playoffs for a player that could be your number 2 option. That's valuable. It really is.